Talking words on a Monday here on Nutmeg Sports. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the program. Happy to have you along with Donald Eng. I'm Rob Adams. We talk words because it's what we do. We'll talk sports for 30 minutes, Don.
It's what we do.
It's what we do indeed. We're going to be joined by Scott Erickson in just a little bit from the Stanford Advocate. We're going to talk some boys basketball with the big weekend now in the rearview mirror and the semifinals coming up tomorrow night here on the HAN network. A little wacky basketball to be had on Saturday.
It was crazy. We had a combined 4 overtime periods in the 4 games. The 1-8 game comes down to a single point. We've got a suspension for the semifinals. Yeah. Just a crazy day of basketball at Ludlow.
Yeah, crazy day, but a good day for sure. So we'll get into that in a little bit as well. We've got athletes of the week to talk about, and we also have the all FCAC girls ice hockey team. In fact, I'll open the show with that because it's going to be put up on FCAC.net in just a few minutes. So I will open it up by telling you who they are. Don, did I share that information with you, or shall I just go ahead and run through it?
Go ahead and run through it for now.
All right, we'll do that. The forwards on the first team, and we won't give you everything. We'll give you enough to kind of whet your appetite, so you go over to FCAC.net and check it out. The first team will come as really no surprise, with all due respect to everyone. Georgia Cassidy is one of the forwards, along with Marissa Baker, both from Darien. Gianna Bruno and Catherine Granito from New Canaan also come in as forwards. Maddie Burns and Megan Hyatt, both forwards, and Stephanie Walsh of Stanford West Hill Staples round out the forwards on the first team. The first team defense from Darien is Chandler Kirby. Jenny Petrosky of Greenwich is also on defense, with Courtney Sheets of Fairfield and Mia Carroll from New Canaan. The goalies, Brooke Johnson of Wilton, Emily Giannunzio of Darien, and Amanda Hill of New Canaan. And then for fun, here in the room, once I got the list, I said, does anyone want to take a stab at Coach of the Year?
I got it wrong.
A.J. Simonowski got it right. Rich Bulin of New Canaan is the Coach of the Year in the FCAC. We'll give you the second team as well. The forwards from Darien, Skylar Vandenbroek, Brooke Dean of New Canaan, Sarah Polishin of Fairfield, Ellie Garlick of Ridgefield, Kara DeBallo of Stanford West Hill Staples, Caroline Prezioso of Trumbull St. Joseph. On defense is Katie Zero of Darien, Erin Schneider of Ridgefield, Jenny Guider of Ridgefield as well, Erin McGroarty of Stanford West Hill Staples, and Jess Eccleston from New Canaan. By the way, keep in mind, Guider and Eccleston, both freshmen, second-teamers. Gina Moriello of Trumbull is your second-team goalie, along with Claire Perry of Stanford West Hill Staples, and then the honorable mentions after that. And again, you can get all that at FCAC.net, and congratulations to everyone.
Congratulations. As we said, no real surprises on the list, but a great job by all the athletes.
Absolutely. So great job by all the athletes indeed. I said absolutely, so I got to put $1 in the Chris Kalin jar. We kid because we care. And we get into the athletes of the week. We can do that right now as we have a couple of minutes here on Nutmeg Sports. Last week, didn't quite get the votes that I wanted to see. The numbers are a little compacted. Does not mean the honor isn't the same, though. The honor is absolutely the same, Don.
It's a big honor. I mean, HAN Network Athlete of the Week. Shall we start off on the boys' side?
Go for it.
All right. Well, first off, congratulations to Nick Bizzuto of Greenwich Ice Hockey, pulling in 359 votes. That is 35% of the vote. We had a close run for second place. Tyler Glean of Trumbull Track and Field with 252, and Kevin Remsen, Norwalk McMahon Ice Hockey, with 238 votes. But your top finisher, Nick Bizzuto of Greenwich Ice Hockey.
I saw Nick the other day, and we were laughing about it because he was saying, I busted his chops last week, and I've known the Bizzuto family for a few years. I said to him here on the show, I said, you're campaigning heavily, and he kind of tweeted back and forth with me, said he was having fun with it, but congratulations. Nick is a good guy, and saw him on Saturday at Stanford for the quarterfinals, in fact, and so he gets congratulations on the boys' side.
Athletes of the Week ballot box stuffing, encouraged.
Encouraged, indeed. More than encouraged. To the female athlete of the week, the winner this week, and a pretty resounding victory, although Claudia Tucci did well with 37% of the vote. Emily Philippides of Greenwich Track and Field with 53% of the vote. And after that, it drops all the way down to Isaiah Knight of Norwalk at just 5% of the vote. We'll have next week's nominees probably in time for tomorrow's show, but certainly keep an eye on han.network, and they will be put up there as well. But make sure to get the vote going and get ready. I already sent in my recommendations. I'm now on the nominating committee, I'm proud to say.
Really? Oh, there's a committee.
Yeah, there is, I guess, the sports editors and me.
Wow. All right. Well, hey, well, congratulations. It's almost like, I mean, it's almost like having an Academy Award ballot. Almost.
Heck of a job by Spotlight last night, but that's a conversation for another time. Anyway, yes, so note to self for all of you athletes, if you want to be considered for Athlete of the Week, we highly recommend that you pick your best games for being at least when I'm around to nominate you, and when our cameras are around, more importantly, because that's kind of where I'm drawing from.
If at all possible, have your best games under the bright lights.
Yes. So, and I have no problem saying who I nominated for this week, and we can nominate basically whoever we want. I nominated Georgia Cassidy of Darien for being the MVP of Saturday's Girls FCAC Ice Hockey Championship, and I nominated Tiana England of Stanford for being Friday night's FCAC Girls Basketball Championship MVP. So.
Very, quite deserving. Quite deserving. Obviously, Darien with the big win over New Canaan in the girls ice hockey final at Connors Rink on Friday night, and a great watch also on the HAN network.
If time does not allow, I want to make sure we get the girls basketball highlights in, because the girls hockey highlights, we saw them earlier this morning on Coffee Break, and we'll try to run them again before the end of this show. But I want to make sure you see the girls basketball highlights from Friday night out at Fairfield Ludlow. This is what you saw right here on the HAN network.
For Fairfield Ludlow High School, that is. It is the 2016 FCAC Championship game on the HAN network. Girls basketball title on the line tonight. With John Kovach, I'm Rob Adams. Dan Gardella will join us on the floor as well. Too much excitement. We don't know where we are. She got it off to Kresnici. Down low it goes. Working it is Markovic. Now the pull-up Kresnici is good.
Kresnici gets the point. Markovic should get all the credit, because it was that bounce pass through the paint, through heavy traffic, that set that up.
A 5-point lead for Fairfield. It's going to be taken by England. England looking to run. England from the lane, no good. Trying to fight for it is Andrea O'Connor, and it goes out of bounds.
And open that defense back up.
Bringing it back the other way. The quick pass to Deja Polk, and she lays it home. Back up to a 6-point lead just like that with 29 to go, but taken by Kellner. Kellner feeds to the elbow for O'Connor. Andrea O'Connor had it knocked away by Osborne. The clean block taken back by Markovic. Markovic dancing on the near side was Libby McKenna. Instead it's Osborne. Now McKenna, and right through the fingertips. 2-point game. 1:22 to go in the first half. Into the front court, Tiana England. England's got it up top. This is a deep three, and she drains it. That is a way to get yourself on the scoreboard with authority. Here's England in transition. Dishes left. A three. Oh, it's good. Camille Martinez has 9. England right wing. Nodding. Says, go over here, Alexa. Kellner for 3. That's good.
Kellner, another one who's lights out from outside the arc.
England takes a look. Gives it off. Camille Martinez lost it for a moment. England got it back. England, the floater. It's good, and a foul! All of a sudden, the Mustangs on a run. It was 38-24 not that long ago, but Kellner's going to try to make them pay, and she does! Going to haul up a 3. That's no good. The rebound taken by Kellner, and the Stanford Black Knights are the FCAC champions.
And a nice scene at Fairfield Ludlow. Stanford with their first ever championship game win. They did win championships, but pre-championship games. So they won back in 78 and 79. Now they get their first title in 37 years.
And I was amazed. The skill level so high, whether it's the handle or the accuracy from three-point range. An impressive performance by the Knights.
Oh, absolutely true. And Tiana England, not great in the first half, but that 3 right before the break That got her going, and then 16 in the second half. I thought she was terrific.
And that's such a big thing to do, is to like really get that last shot in right before the buzzer. Send your team into the locker room up with an extra 3 points. That's impressive. And of course, good job by Stanford and Ward, both with a quick turnaround, winning their state playoff the following day.
Absolutely true. When we come back, we will jump into boys basketball, talk about what went on Saturday at Fairfield Ludlow. Ludlow had themselves a busy weekend. We'll continue on Nutmeg Sports. Scott Erickson coming up right after this on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
The 2016 FCAC playoffs are coming to the HAN Network. We'll have all of the big games beginning February 23rd on the court and on the ice. And we'll have it all live and streaming HD. This is your home for the 2016 FCAC Winter Championships. The HAN Network.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports with Donald Eng. I'm Rob Adams, so happy you decided to join us for a Monday edition of the show. Busy week coming up. Boys basketball semifinal doubleheader tomorrow. Now at Fairfield Ward. They play the first round at Fairfield Ludlow, but we'll move to Ward tomorrow and then the championship on Thursday. And we're very happy to be joined by a good friend of the program, Scott Erickson of the Stanford Advocate. Scott, how you doing?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Saturday was quite a day. Couple of overtime games, couple of double overtime games, in fact.
Yeah, double overtime, and then a regular overtime, and then an all-city game with Stanford and West Hill. The afternoon session, the night session, I should say, was the games were a little more exciting. The afternoon games were really kind of a slog at times, but still competitive and fun and full gyms, and it was one of the better quarterfinal Saturdays I can remember up there.
By the way, before we continue, we're using your Twitter picture on the show. Who took that picture?
Oh, the picture of me pointing?
Yes.
That was taken at your HAN
right.
pre-Thanksgiving thing. So Pete took that, Pagawaga.
Okay.
Took that of me behind Boley. Sean Boley was the center, and I was the quarterback. I'm calling out the defense there.
That's all right. We want to make sure we recognize the photographer. We're all about giving credit.
Yeah.
Calling the audible. Omaha.
Exactly.
It's Petey Page views.
Yeah, we love Petey. There was some craziness I want to get to in the Trumbull game that, it's going to result in a suspension. And from what I was reading in the Trumbull Times story, it was a hard foul, a dead ball foul. What happened?
So the first incident was 2 players got tangled, the whistle's blown for a foul, and as the Trumbull player's going to the floor, he fired the ball at the Ridgefield kid who's laying on the floor. Got a technical foul. Trumbull's up 5 at that point. A few minutes later, Ridgefield kid's dribbling. He's fouled around the foul line, but kind of just the whistle blows. Everyone stops. But, sometimes kids take a couple extra dribbles and we'll just throw a little floater up or something.
Sure.
The kid goes to do that. The Trumbull kid comes at him really hard and knocks him down. And, cross body block, which, if you're playing the game full speed, it's a hard foul. But 3 seconds after the whistle, it's dirty, and the kid got ejected, and in my opinion, rightfully so. And now he's costing his team because he's not going to be there in the semifinals either, and that's really going to hurt them against West Hill, who has some big guys inside.
And West Hill coming up with that big win. Go ahead, Don.
I was going to say, in my recollection, this is the second time we've had involving Trumbull with kids throwing balls at other kids' heads and things like that resulted in some technicals. I thought I remember.
Well,
Trumbull.
we saw some stuff with Trumbull and St. Joseph when we were over at Alumni.
Right.
There was some stuff there. So yeah, it did.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to say this kid's name, and
Right.
I'm not going to try to call him out, but he has a reputation around the league. I've seen it personally several times. He was ejected from their Trumbull State game last year for the same kind of stuff. It's a pattern. The officials, I'm sure, also knew about him and were watching him. And he doesn't deserve to be on the court. And frankly, I'd rather talk about kids that are going to be on the court than this kid who really has a pattern of doing this.
Yep, and let's do that right now. Let's turn it back to the good stuff, and that was some of these games, as I said, just blistering basketball that we were able to follow from the hockey. We were reading your stuff and Sean Saylor and other guys on Twitter that were keeping this stuff going on. First, you start off with a good win for West Hill over Stanford, but then this Trumbull-Ridgefield game, from the on-court perspective, that's good stuff right there. Tell me about that game.
It was. All these games, when we saw the matchups, me and the other media members, we thought these are really good first-round matchups. First you had the city game, then Trumbull-Ridgefield just match up well with each other. They both have size. They both have some guards that can make some plays. And it was a good basketball game. It was physical. It was defensive. Ridgefield rallied from down to come back, and then Trumbull rallied again to send it to overtime. There was clutch baskets made. It was an entertaining game. So, just focusing on the game, it was a good game, really good win for Trumbull to get them back into the semifinals. And they get a rematch with West Hill, who they lost to in the semifinals last year. And that game was good. If you like that style of basketball, again, it was, I forget what the final score was. I don't think they were even in the 50s, and it was a double overtime.
46,
in double overtime
game. But part of that is because Ridgefield's very methodical with their offense. And they're not going to rush a shot if they don't have to. And they, in that game, held the ball for a minute and a half, 2 minutes at sometimes. And that kept the scoring very, very low. I know people that day were crying that there should be a shot clock in Connecticut, and that certainly would have sped up the game in this instance. But I don't think it took away from the quality of the game at all. I thought both teams played extremely well, and Trumbull was able to make a few more plays, and they've played really well all season, and they deserve to be in the semifinals right now.
I get the sense the game of the day was the Ward-Wilton game just because of the shots before the buzzer and all this crazy stuff that went on. Was that the game of the day in your mind?
That was the game of the year in my mind. That was phenomenal. Ward had, by the time they were in the second overtime, had 5 kids who had fouled out. They had a sophomore, Antonio Brancato, the younger brother of Giacomo, just going nuts. He made a layup with 12 seconds left to tie it in regulation. At the end of the first overtime, he goes to the basket and hits a runner as time expires to tie it. Both crowds were going at it, in a good jovial way. It was high scoring, high pace. Matt Cronenberg of Wilton scored 39 points and had 10 rebounds. The kid's like 5'9".
Yeah.
It was an exciting basketball game. It was everything we expected that game to be, and probably a little bit more. 2 good coaches going at it in Joel Garriak and Ryan Swaller. 2 talented teams going at it. That was excellent, and made up for any bad games I saw all year by far. That was the game of the day, and it'll be hard to top that the rest of the way too.
I was going to say, it's one of those games where it's really just fun to have the job, right? You just can't take it in.
It's fun to have the job, and then at the same time, there's a lot to keep up with, you know? And a lot to fit into, 15 inches of copy in the paper when it goes like that. But it's worth it, and we all I was sitting back in the press room with Dave Rudin afterwards, and we were both we couldn't start writing. We kind of had to decompress from what we had seen for a few minutes first, and then get into it. But excellent game. And Wilton is in the FCX semifinals for the third time in 4 years. That's remarkable. That program came from, they were at the bottom of the league every single year.
Yeah.
And 3 out of 4 years they're in the semis. They've never played in an FCX final. We'll see if they can do it.
Joel does a great job with that team.
Oh, Joel is, there's lots of coaches that are dedicated, lots of good coaches in the FCX. But when you're at other teams' games, the one guy you see more than anybody else in the gym watching games is Joel.
Yeah.
Joel knows all the players. Joel knows all the coaches. Joel puts in the time. He's been in this league. He played at West Hill. He coached under Jeff Bussey for a long time at New Canaan. And then he's been in Wilton for a few years. He is the best basketball mind in the FCX. Great guy, and a great guy to talk basketball with, too.
Absolutely.
And the job he's done is just, like I said, it's remarkable. I mean, look, the kids are working hard. And kids like Matt Cronenberg and Jack Williams and Matt Schifrin last year, they're working hard, but he's built a program that these kids believe in coming up. The kids in Wilton walk around, the 7th graders and 8th graders walk around wearing shirts saying, "In Joel we trust." That's big when you have a youth program feeding right into your high school program that buys into what you're doing up there, and the kids can't wait to come up there and play.
I'm really not surprised that Ludlow gave Danbury such a game, but with all this said now, who wins this thing?
The number one seed always has, not always, but a lot of times has a hard time in that first game. You're coming in as number one, you're playing an 8 seed, you got to get used to the environment and being in the playoffs, and once you do, and once you get through that game, they usually play a little bit better. West Hill was challenged a little bit last year. Central was taken to the buzzer by St. Joe's 2 years ago. I think Danbury is in the best spot to make it. Wilton's done a great job to get there. They don't match up really well with Danbury. They don't have a lot of size to combat Fox. But if Wilton can hit from the outside, they can make it a game. Having said that, I like Danbury. The other game I really think is a toss-up. Trumbull and West Hill. And Trumbull beat them up there this year, but West Hill's a much different team now. They've won 9 of 10 games. They've found their way a little bit more. They found the 5th guy with Tyler Lisicki coming in and starting at guard. They were rotating kids trying to find that 5th starter the whole first half of the season. But with a kid in Terrell Alexander, who I feel is the player of the year, and a kid like Leonard August, who's a big guy inside, Parrish Rowell, who can play, and you know what? They've been there. Those kids were all on that team last year that won the championship. And that goes a long way. And right now they're playing well, they're playing confident, but I can't pick that Trumbull-West Hill game at all. It's just, it's truly a toss-up.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and we'll see you out there tomorrow?
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it.
That sounds good to me. All right, Scott, we'll see you there. Thanks so much. We'll do it again soon.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Anytime. Scott Erickson from the Stanford Advocate. We'll take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. Could do a whole show talking to Scott. Always a good time with him. One of the good guys in this business, one of our close friends here on the show. We'll take a break. We'll come back. A few more things to do before we wrap it up right after this on the HAN Network. Denali is your outdoor retail destination in the Westfield Trumbull Mall. For the last 21 years, we have carefully selected clothing, footwear, and gear from a variety of the best outdoor brands, such as the North Face, Patagonia, Vineyard Vines, UGG, Merrell, GoPro, New Balance, and many more. Our stores have a friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you with all of your running, hiking, and cold weather needs, and in discovering all things outdoorsy and awesome. Visit us in the Westfield Trumbull Mall or online at DenaliOutdoor.com.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter, and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back on Nutmeg Sports, we have hockey to get to from Saturday. Good triple header. Good, not quite great. Just not quite there. 3 shutouts. Now, shutouts can be good games. You know, I can still, a quick, national thing, I can tell you the 1-0 Game 5 Yankees-Braves in 96 was like, gripping the sides of your chair. Right. Because 1-0, any little mistake. And there were enough little mistakes in that game to cause you to go, oh my God, tie game.
Yes, I've thought that myself sometimes. Like I've been watching games, and it's a 1-0 game, and you think to yourself, wow, that was a great game, but not particularly enjoyable to watch.
But I've also seen 1-0 games that might as well feel like they're 10-0 because, as we bring it back to hockey, the defense can be so much of a wall that you just know you stand no chance. Kind of felt like...
You're talking about the Devils, aren't you?
Kind of felt a little bit like that with some of these games on Saturday. First, the girls' championship. I mean, you just got to say the Darien Blue Wave, once again, they are the Darien Blue Wave. New Canaan couldn't quite get up to that next level. We've got highlights for you from Saturday.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Terry Connors Rink in Stamford. It's the 2016 Girls Hockey FCAC Championship on the HAN Network. Although nobody's like Sean Saylor.
No, Sean knows more people than Frank.
Here's Cassidy. Cassidy across the line. What a move by Cassidy. Alone, and she scores! Magnificent Georgia Cassidy. 1-0 Darien.
And that's just an outstanding effort by Cassidy. She gets the turnover in neutral zone, heads straight for the net.
Tough break. Let's see what happens with 1:45 remaining on the power play. Cassidy up top. Feeds down low, and they score!
And that was just a scenario. Darien was able to get a little bit of traffic in front of Amanda Hill, and she just lost the puck.
Turn back, here's a chance. Back comes Bruno. Bruno alone. Bruno in the breakaway. Left circle, puts it on net. It's loose, still can't be found, and it's whistled dead. The save for Giannunzio, who quite honestly couldn't find it. To the near side with 4, off into the right corner with 3 and 2, and the Darien Blue Wave have won the FCAC championship. I'm Rob Adams, happy to have you along as the number 5 New Canaan Rams take on the 4 seed, the Ridgefield Tigers. Again, modeled after the Chicago Blackhawks Winter Classic jerseys. Those are beautiful sweaters. Brought across and down the left side. It'll go into the corner. That was Jack Stafford, the junior for Ridgefield. Held in at the right point. It goes on net and they score! Just tipped in. Ridgefield grabs a 1-0 lead behind the net.
And Rob, that's Windus' stick on the ice. He's got one of his defensemen right there.
As they score to make it 2-0.
It was Shane Pickering who gave his stick to Windus after he lost it to the corner, and that puck slipped in through the 5-hole, I believe.
Blast coming, deflected off and blocked into the left corner. Pushed right back out, but nobody home for the Rams, so it'll be taken back. Jimmy Wilkinson starts back from right to left, goes to the right circle, sent into the right circle, and he scores! And the rest of the team here, I'm Rob Adams. It's the 6-3 showdown in the FCAC quarterfinal playdowns. And the first period comes to an end, scoreless. No broadcaster jinx. St. Joseph now moving from right to left, and 17 seconds gone by. Foldesi gets across the line, has a man to his right. Usinger on net, and he scores!
And Cater, it's just like you said, you want to try to get him sliding side to side and shoot that puck in low, and that's exactly where Usinger finished, through the 5-hole there.
That was a good call. Across the line, Usinger, backhand, save made, Grace looking for it, and they score! There's the deadly goal. It's a power play goal with 3:45 to go. St. Joseph up 2-0. Here the left point kept in, down to 4. Playing it there, Usinger bounces it off the glass. Emmendorfer will watch it roll away, and this one is over. St. Joseph will move on to the semifinals on Wednesday.
So there you have it. First of all, congratulations to Darien and to Georgia Cassidy, who won the MVP. But now you've got your semifinals set for Wednesday night at the Terry Connors Rink in Stamford. St. Joseph and Darien at 5, Greenwich Ridgefield at 7. SATs have kind of wreaked havoc on start times for tomorrow and Wednesday, thus the earlier start times for both days. 5 o'clock tomorrow, 5 o'clock Wednesday as well.
Right. I've got my eye. I mean, it's the St. Joseph Darien game could be interesting. It's kind of hard to make a case for an upset in that game. Ridgefield versus Greenwich, though, really, Ridgefield has been up and down all year long. They've alternated impressive wins and kind of head-scratching losses, but I think they've shown that when they play their game, they can be competitive with just about anybody. I think that Ridgefield-Greenwich game, we could possibly see an upset brewing there.
I think that's the one game that could be I think Ridgefield could be very interesting. If Greenwich struggles to score, then Ridgefield has a solid chance in that game. But if Greenwich has got their game going on, Casey Cunningham on that opening line, on that top line, I think they'll be okay.
Right. And I was kind of surprised Ridgefield handled New Canaan 4-0 the way they did. I mean, the game was a little bit closer than that, but Ridgefield really asserted itself, I thought, and put a very good performance on right at the time they're going to need it most.
It speaks to the roller coaster nature of that New Canaan team. Now, look, New Canaan won the tournament because of their sweaters, but beyond that, they couldn't win the game on the ice. But the uniforms we're still lobbying for uniforms here, by the way. But they couldn't find any form of offense against Ridgefield. They couldn't challenge Sean Keegan's enough, although they tried. It was just better by Ridgefield to get the puck past Peter Windus. They did a better job.
Yeah, and then of course, as we were saying, Darien now 3-0 against New Canaan on the year, possibly with a fourth game looming. We'll see what happens.
We will see what happens for sure, and that will come up before you know it. But with all that said and done, I'm trying to think. Anything else we got to bounce around here before we say goodbye?
No, I think we're getting the high sign. We're getting the get out sign.
Well, I know we're getting the get out sign, which is why I talked to you first. Make sure we're on the same page. I got everything I wanted to talk about today.
I can't think of anything else. That'll just about cover it.
Tomorrow, Tom Keys, the head coach of Norwalk basketball, will join us. Tom's also going to join us, hopefully on site, to provide a little bit of analysis, a little bit of color for the two basketball games tomorrow, as well as the championship on Thursday. Very excited to get his expertise involved with us as well, so we look forward to that. Wednesday, Mike Suppy joins Dave Stewart and I. Don will take Wednesday off as usual, and that'll rock and roll us right on through the balance of this week. It's a big week for us, the final week of game broadcasts here on the HAN Network for the winter season, barring any unforeseen circumstances. That'll do it for Nutmeg Sports. Back with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Coffee break starts your day tomorrow morning at 11. Basketball semifinals tomorrow at 5. Hockey semifinals Wednesday at 5. Boys basketball championship Thursday. Boys hockey championship on Saturday. For Donald Eng, Eric Gender, and AJ Simonowski, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your night. Thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network.